Peace to the fam. What up? Abdul Kush after the top. Gamma Farragoon. Shalel Kaloon. I am in the love of all, and all love is in me. I am a part of all, and all is a part of me. And I am one with all, and all is one with me. And I can succeed as a part of all and fail as an individual. I can be all that I wish in all as long as my wish is to stay in all. I am never alone. All is, I am. All can, I can. All does, I do. Estange elaku. What up, what up, what up? Press 2 if you shared this video. And what about the ash? What about these ashes and rising from them? My name's Coach Khayr, Team Taurus, Atlanta, Georgia. How you feeling today? I always like to have my man Buddha looking over my shoulder. Please press 2 if you share this video. I really appreciate it. My weekend, probably that's like the story of what up, Hits Nikki. How are you on this day? How are you on this day? I am magnificent. What's up, Marquetta Thomas? Man, humbled is a very good word, because I should have just put about spiritual death or death of the ego, because there's no such thing as physical death, but everybody's afraid of it. So there's no such thing as physical death, but everybody's afraid of it. But there's such thing as an ego death, and then everybody's afraid of that. But everybody ain't afraid of it. But then we're in Scorpio season. What does all that got to do with each other, Khayr? And what about these toad lessons? We know you was out here with Dr. Jerry with the toad this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to give a crazy, crazy mad shout out to Seven and Journey for hosting the first ever toad ceremonies held in Atlanta, Georgia. And I don't feel we couldn't have done it without them. I definitely wish Journey could, Seven could jump on here. I wonder if I pause it and call him. I wonder what, Alafia, what's happening? So, yeah, this weekend was the first toad ceremonies in Atlanta, and I guess I could be skipping ahead when I was like, how do you rise out of the ashes? Well, how do you get in? You got to get into the ashes first. So a lot of times people not even ready to go into the ashes, but we always talking about we disappointed in the regular life that we live in, but we don't want to. But you don't want to scrap everything. Why you don't want to scrap everything? Why you don't want to start over? So Scorpio, you've heard of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Well, those represent the signs Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So Scorpio is the phoenix, but in that situation when they're talking about it, they're talking about the eagle, right? So what up, Team Pisces in Virginia, Team Scorpio in Spartanburg? I see you. I'm Coach Khayr, Team Taurus, Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks everybody for joining. And yes, we will be having class this Thursday. Self-discovery through self-mastery is this Thursday. And this is kind of like, we're going to be talking about getting over disappointment. You know, how do you rise up out of the ashes? But the big thing that I learned this weekend, or came to my realization, because a lot of things are inside of me and they just come up to the surface, and it'll just be like, man. Now, I don't like to claim, be like, oh my God, everything is so much into, I'm God. I think I made a statement earlier, like, I'm really understanding that the 5% nation of gods and earths, and when we call ourselves gods and goddesses, it's really to like talk ourselves up. But if we're really not feeling, if we haven't had a connection with the feeling of what God is or what Goddess is, then you really shorten yourself. You're really not at that level of saying, I'm God or Goddess. At least me, I'm not. But when I see people who are going through these entheogenic experiences, which is they went through sacred medicine that is thousands, if not millions of years old, in order to go back to source and feel source. Going back to feel source, it's very it's different than talking about it and just saying I am God, but you ain't never felt God. You really are saying I'm God and I am with the way I feel about God. Oh, I'm a goddess. Oh, I'm God. You're talking about how you feel about what your opinion of God is, or what your particular education or experience of God is at this point. But the mind has these inhibitors on it, so you don't really even see past the little 2-3 dimensional world that we live in right now. So that's why we have these sacred ceremonies that have these medicines, entheogenic medicines that help you travel multiverses. So you can have different experiences, gain different wisdom, pick up different techniques, pick up different knowledge and wisdom, things like that. But you got to be ready to die, yo. A lot of people who talking about they on this path, they like God and goddess and stuff like that. Like, are you ready to die for what you are looking for? So when you be seeing these Jesus freaks out here, they be ready to die for their Jesus. They ain't gonna never find it. But are you ready to die for what you're looking for? Because a lot of people say, I'm looking for something because you think somebody owe you something. Yes. My man Vaughn says, when I say I'm God, I say it as I know my potential, and I know that the Creator is within me. No, you talking that the Creator is in you. You really don't have any proof yet, tangible feelings that you felt the Creator in you, because the Creator has so much energy, the creative force that makes everything, the creative intelligence. If it was in you, it would rip you apart. And so through these, this toad ceremony, that's one of the main things that people say is, I felt like I was being ripped apart. When you meet God, you're going to have to be ripped apart, because you're not going to be able to meet God as Coach Khayr, as Vaughn, as Miss McKinney, as El Boogie, as Afi, as Joseph Lloyd, and not be ripped to shreds. You're going to have to be ripped all the way apart, because your physical body and your spiritual body and your mental body and your emotional body can't stand the presence of that type of force that has all of this stuff working. So when I be talking about the toad ceremonies, that's what a lot of people do. And a lot of people resist being torn apart. They're like, no. Well, how are you going to rise out the ashes if you don't get burned? Everybody always talks about, I want to rise out of the ashes. I want to come out of the ashes, but they scared to die. Ooh, ain't that a blizzy? Blizzy, blizzy. They scared to die. How can you win? Right. If death ain't real, that's what I'm saying. That's why I really don't even really talk about, I'm with the conscious community. I'm with the subconscious and the unconscious community. I'm over there with them folks. The conscious community, that's a spoonful of water, spoonful of kale juice, which ain't even good for you. So what up, Team Virgo? I see you. What up, Miss Priesthood? So as you grow on this path, yo, the path is going to get higher, the air is going to get thinner, and the pack you run with is going to get smaller. It's not going to be everything always the same when you keep moving, yo. The objective is going to be the same probably. The objective might even get bigger or get further out. But sometimes when the objective start getting close to you, you start seeing how monumental it is, then you start getting afraid. I remember when I was in the desert in Mexico, and Jerry was like, y'all gonna have to walk to that mountain. Now, when we saw the mountain way off, we were just like, oh, that's a mountain range. Because when you drive in a car, you see the mountain way over there, you'd be like, yeah, that's a mountain. That looks nice. That's so pretty. But then when you walk to it, it seems like it keeps on getting further and further away. But then when you get right up on it, you'd be like, whoa, look how big this thing really is. And the television screen or pictures can't denote that. So it's the same thing with God. You're going to have to, the whole thing about dying to meet God is really the only true thing. Not a physical death, but a death of all of your fears, the death of your ego, the death of your agendas. I could just stop right there. What I learned this weekend was people didn't want to really experience God because they still want to be in control. So, and it's a Mercury retrograde, so I really didn't want to get into saying, oh, here's who's fake, but that's the rule. You see, you can realize what's a charlatan or what's fake about certain situations when you up under these Mercury retrogrades. And guess what? Since it's happening in Scorpio, that's like, let's talk about the Scorpio sign. So it's a moon in Scorpio right now, sun in Scorpio right now, Mercury in Scorpio right now in the shadow period, about to stop on the 31st, and then Venus is in Scorpio. So we got a Venus stellium, and ain't nobody talking about death. I could do this video. I could get off of here now. I could talk for another 20, get off of here and start a new topic about death, and then give you 3 topics tomorrow, 3 topics on Wednesday, and still not even go into what we're talking about on Thursday. Because Thursday we're talking about how to get over disappointment. It can't even get no better. We talked about money last week, but what about disappointment? Money is your dream, but disappointment is your reality. You don't have a formula. Everything that you asking for has got something to do around disappointment. And disappointment, the root of your disappointment is because you a control freak. And you got to be in control of everything. You got to figure stuff out. And then when you get challenged, you get sideways. So what I saw this weekend was that medicine coming in there, challenging jokers, and the jokers getting sideways. The Queen Antoinette was in here. She was up in the building. Listen, when I see champions coming, what up, Jasmine? When I see champions, we was in Atlanta. That's the furthest north right now the Toad is planned to go. Because nobody even wants to host it up north. Not in D.C., not in North Carolina. Further, it was in Florida, now it's in Atlanta. Antoinette comes down from New York. She had a whole agenda, and she got it all done. It wasn't on her schedule, but she got it all done. I'm sure she got some bonuses in there. And then when she finished, I was like, how do you feel? She was like, oh, I got to kind of process it. What I tell you the 3 deaths was, Antoinette, let's see if she's going to share with y'all the 3 deaths. Because when you rising out the ashes, the thing that's your enemy is your mind. Because your mind is the one giving you all these agendas. The mind is what's telling you what you think God is. All of that is happening right now. I felt that unconscious, and I felt that unconscious and subconscious community. Yeah, absolutely. I legit died this weekend. Not wall of suffering die, but having experiences that ripping. I felt I was empty and had to face some ish. It hurt. Today I'm functional, but Afi left the building. Afi, you been into some Toad. Man, I could really start calling names and start really saying stuff. Afi on here, but yeah, Afi and people she know, which is a whole bunch of people, but specifically some people Afi know that I know, they need some Toad too. When you're going through something and you think you're depressed and you think it's the end of the world and all that, you ain't really touched God yet. You ain't touched God yet. When you touch God, you know there ain't no end of the world. Yes, it's like the death card in tarot. I perceive this the same way. What up, Cassie? What up, Brittany? What up, Demetrius? The 3 things I told Antoinette that are the wrong thing to do when you're trying to rise up out the ashes and you done had a fresh start and you done died and now it's time to start responding. is say the word process. Let me process this. This doesn't make sense to me. I need to logically figure this out. And what happened? Because normally when you say what happened, you're trying to figure. Let me process this. This isn't logical. I need to figure this out. Those are the three things that kill enlightenment. Those are the three killers of enlightenment. Damn, that's a good one. Can somebody inbox me that? I want to do that one tomorrow and just talk about just that. The three killers of enlightenment. Processing, logical thinking, and figuring stuff out. Ooh. Yeah. Processing, trying to figure it out. What up, Pontiac, Michigan? I will achieve all that I desire. I will get in tune with my inner self. If death is all that holds me back is necessary, so be it. I demand a change. Now here we come. Here we got a Scorpio talking that talk up under the Scorpio. Everybody's got Scorpio in your chart though. You have all 12. You have all 12 signs in the zodiac. What is this, man? SB. I don't know about y'all, but this retrograde treating me right. Well, you know how to react to it. And it's giving you, and you an unashamed opportunist. So the retrograde isn't treating you right. You know how to respond to the circumstances to get out of it what you need to get out of it. Yeah, you learning a lesson from Mercury retrograde. That's what all the planets do. But really, Mercury direct should be teaching you a lesson too. People be talking about, oh, the retrograde teaches, I'm learning, I got to go through. Why don't you learn something when Mercury is going forward? Why is it that the planet got to move backwards for us to learn something? Wow. Yes. Antoinette, inbox me that or text me that later. Something. Can I copy the whole thing? I can't copy that. But anyway, yeah, those are three killers of enlightenment. That's my next topic. That shit right there is fire. But cats don't want to die though, yo. People don't want to die. No, I'm scared. Can't come back. But what's the journey into these deaths is where all the information is at. It's the reality. These ancestors that we always talking about, they're on the other side of death. And they're giving you this wisdom. I pray that my ancestors are with me. I honor my ancestors. My ancestors did this for me. My ancestors, well, they went through death to get there. You can go through death without dying over here and don't want to do it. I think I'm going to cut this video short because I'm talking and saying a little too much. Maybe. Let me go plug myself. Plug Thursday's class. Thursday's class, self-mastery through self-discovery. Jasmine, you want to come through? Because this is what we're talking about now. Because so many, like I said, how you overcome disappointment. How do you overcome disappointment? Can I get my folks to come through? Yeah, let's see what happens right there. That's the topic for this weekend's class. And I'm not really saying like, I don't want to be a class on death. I want to be talking about individual strategies. So, because a lot of times we use the things that we have failed from as an excuse for not moving forward, which Jasmine loves to call the limiting character. But I'm just saying it's just a fear. Your limiting character definitely doesn't want to die. Death of all these things, the limiting character is included in the whole lynching. Like it's gonna be a mob death. Hey Jasmine Otten.
Hey, what's going on?
Are you in the store?
I'm in the candle store. I'm about to step out right now.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to come back on after you finish?
Yeah, give me 20 seconds because I thought I'd be out of here by now.
Okay. So, what up, Zandra? Antoinette, did we verify your rising sign as a Scorpio rising? Are you sure that you're a Scorpio rising? But who suffered from disappointment on here? Press 1 if you have suffered from some type of disappointment that it took you, that affected how you move and shake in the world. Everybody, I know that everybody suffers from disappointment, but have you suffered from a disappointment, or are you currently in a disappointing situation that's holding up your advancement? You overcome disappointment by telling it to come on and bring it. You will never defeat me ever. No, Vaughn, that sounds marvelous. Telling disappointment to come on. Talking. You ain't gonna never overcome nothing by talking to it. Even when you are with a woman in a relationship and you tell her something and she's listening, that's not how you're going to overcome whatever the beef is that y'all may be experiencing. The only way you're going to overcome something is through actions. You're not going to, or inaction, but you're not going to overcome something by telling a situation something. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to be a change. What up, Blooming Jasmine? So, what up, Francis? Look at all these people that's saying they had some kind of disappointment that you want to be past, but you ain't past. And now it has this effect on you. That's what class is going to be about this Thursday. Overcoming disappointment, the rise of the phoenix. Let me look at the whole flyer. Rise of the phoenix, death, rebirth, and overcoming disappointment. Yeah. Woo, this one's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. How do you rise up out like the phoenix? Everybody's talking about rising like the phoenix, but then when they hit a little challenge, they still stuck on I'm afraid. The phoenix. Did y'all go see the Marvel movie, The Phoenix? Rising Phoenix, or whatever the name of it was? The only fear she had was of her own power. And then once she embraced her power, there was no fear whatsoever. I'm not sure. I mean, goddess just sounds so politically correct. But why not be a phoenix? Why not be a dragon? I'm looking for some phoenixes. What? Let disappointment go. It means my magic is working. Disappointment slows your magic down. But that's what I'm telling you. Your magic, the less fear you have of death, the more your magic is working. And so one of the reasons that spells are not working is because they're holding on to disappointment and they are lying to themselves. So I also posted the other day, there's no magic, there's no sigil, there's no candle, there's no spell, there's no sorcerer that can overcome the lies that you tell yourself. It ain't happening. It's not happening. The lies you tell yourself are the strongest magic in the universe. They are binding. They're binding. So a lot of y'all talking about, I need to break up with somebody, or I need to do a cord cutting. What lie is being told on your part and the other person's part that's binding y'all together? Nobody wants to be called a liar. Nobody wants to confess. Nobody wants to confess about the lies. That's why I like the toad. The toad is the death of the lies because it pulls them all up. Boop, 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 boop. Quick. With no negotiations. Boy. My birthday's on the next full moon. This is amazing. Everything's falling into place. So with the knowledge I have, it's so awesome. Absolutely. Man, I'm just going to go and buy all the lessons from lesson 1. This is good. That would be a smart move. That's why we have them up there. I was adopted and searching for biological family and has to find them and learn about my ancestors through spirit is disappointing. And you're holding on to that disappointment. Disappointments ain't supposed to be permanent. Can I get everybody to type that? Disappointments are not permanent. But y'all making them permanent. Disappointments are not permanent. Can everybody type that real quick? If you just came on the call too, you're supposed to press 2. Let me know you shared this video somewhere in some ritual group, in some magic group, or somewhere. You were supposed to press 2 and say, I shared this video on my page or whatever. How do you come up out of the ashes? This Scorpio season, let's talk about it. This Scorpio science. I had a reading yesterday, and that is my current state, the Phoenix. Yesterday you got a reading before you came and sat with the toad. Yeah, so you got a reading about the Phoenix, and then you sat down and puckered up to the toad, huh? Okay. Phoenix has been the theme of my life this last year. I've overcome disappointments by accepting what it is, what I need to improve, and let go of them. Keep it moving from the mindset that there's more life to live. There is more life to live. I've learned once I get to the DIS, I quickly redirect myself to another route before I finish the whole appointment. Okay, before I get to the dis, you don't want to, because it's a dis, it's an appointment that's dissing. I feel that, but disappointments, man, they're not permanent. So that's really the part I just wanted to break down with you. We was waiting on Jasmine to get to the car, or maybe we have to wait till she get back to the house. But I'm sure she can speak on this volumes even without me, because I got to cook some greens, some other stuff I got to get into. We was trying to do a live together. Jasmine said disappointment happens. Holding on to them is you creating your own brick walls. Then you call me and say, what about the spell? Can I do such and such and such and such? No, you can't. How disappointing to find out my dad is not my dad after his passing away. Why is that disappointing? Somebody lied to you. That happens all the time. That's a part of being down here in this raggedy world. Yeah. Oh, Vaughn says, I've been lying to myself, dating a girl that I like, but she has kids. Ain't nothing wrong with kids. Myself don't want to deal with that. I'm the type to just pick up and go. Oh, you a ghoster? That's you? How that's working out for you? What up, Napoleon? I feel you. If you going into situations that aren't honorable, and it's going to end up being the disappointment. So you already know what that is off the gate. Can I get Jasmine on here now? Why is the toad able to come to North Carolina? Y'all don't have enough people in North Carolina to come for the toad. You have to have 10 people come to for the toad to come to your town. So you don't have a collection enough of energy to pull the toad to you. So the toad goes where there's a collection of energy. So that means y'all either not working together, or somebody's not willing to step up, and not enough people are not answering the phone to the toad calling it. People in Los Angeles, they want the toad. People in Atlanta, they want the toad. It was a lady got in her car yesterday and drove from Florida. She was texting me like at 12 o'clock. She drove from Florida to in the same day from Florida to Atlanta to get the toad. So it doesn't have to come to your city. Some of y'all are lazy as F you know what, because you want everything it's got to come to your backyard. You think salvation, you ain't gonna rise from no ashes if you think that you ain't gonna travel for no fire. Jasmine, would you like to speak on that, or whatever you like to speak on? I've been doing a lot of talking, and you can just respond to some of the things that I've been saying over there, looking all luscious.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So first and foremost, I mean, congratulations to everybody on here that did experience the toad. Welcome to the other side. Welcome to the beginning of your new life, because the changes and transformations that will happen, that are going to start happening, and I know the release and the let go that everyone experiences is so profound and amazing. Um, I really want to comment on the woman you said that drove from Florida. That was someone who was at a place in her life where she was done making excuses. She put her limiting character in the corner, and she said, I'm ready to get past whatever it is that I've been through. See, a lot of people, it's easier just to stay stuck in wallow, oh poor me, than it is to actually get up and change the situation. And yes, Kyer, you're correct. Sometimes things are not going to come to your backyard, but that effort you put in shows your angels, your ancestors, the universe, God, Goddess, whoever it is, you sitting up petitioning all these saints and all these orishas and all these spirit guides, begging for shit, but you're not even willing to get up and drive your ass across state lines to go get some medicine that's going to help with that profound change. What are you showing to the spirit world how serious you are, and why should they grant you anything? This is why people are always broke, always asking for money, but don't want to get up and do anything to get it. So anybody who missed the opportunity to get the toad, hopefully it comes back around again. It may not. Um,
He'll be back in
disappointment
January.
is
He'll
going,
be back in January. He'll be
he'll be
back in
back in January.
January. Yeah.
Okay. So you know what that means? That means y'all got 2 months to start saving up your money. You got 2 months to start petitioning them love candles and this and that and all that, buying Jordans. That money should be going towards healing, so that the things that you want, you don't have to stress and struggle for anymore. Um, Disappointment is going to happen. Things happen in life. You will be far less disappointed if you're up on your spiritual game. And disappointments, yeah, they come, but holding on to them is you creating your own brick wall, being comfortable in your own brick wall, and then sitting around and bitching about it. And that's what people do. And like attracts like. So you and your friends are both bitching about what's not going on right in life. And that's why most people's spirituality doesn't work. You know,
Nine broke friends, you're bound to be the 10th one. Nine whining friends. If you hang with nine whining friends, you're bound to be the 10th one. I'm sorry. Please continue.
yeah, no, and I just want to say, after you experience the toad, not only does it take all of that away, you won't even be able to function, think, associate, or process things in the same manner that you did before. You will let go of that disappointment. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They're doing their ritual work trying to attract things to themselves, but what they're really trying to do is get rid of the pain and heal from the hurt. But yes.
No, finish that sentence first. Finish that sentence first. I'm just marking my
Um,
place in line.
and what they're doing is they're limiting characters, telling them, if you manifest this amount of money, if you manifest these material items, if you manifest this job, if you fix this relationship, if you attract that old busted up partner that you shouldn't be with anymore, then it's going to make you feel better about yourself. And then it's like, well, why do I need to heal? If I have all these things I want, I won't be hurt anymore. And that's not true. You got to go back to the basics, back to self, back to inward. What's fixed on the inside is going to manifest automatically in your external reality. And I mean, go ahead, Kair.
So I'm gonna probably do another video where we start together at this one. But so I'm gonna kind of almost switch the topic, but I'm gonna tell you something about this weekend because Jasmine did the Toad in Los Angeles. People heard the Toad was coming to Georgia, and some people who watch Jasmine's channel drove across state lines to get to the Toad, right? But they came to do the Toad to try to get what Jasmine got.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, I heard her testimony and what she said is going to do, so I'm going to come and I'm going to get that. No, you're not. I told one lady, I said, Jasmine is shorter than you. I said, you taller than Jasmine. I said, you won't, it's for certain that you won't get what she got. And there was somebody that came looking for what Jasmine got. Oh, I love me some Jasmine. And they got disappointed. The Toad was very disappointing because the Toad showed them who and what they were and are, excuse
Mm-hmm.
me. The Toad was like, and what you're dealing with, who's the culprit, all of that. And so they were disappointed because they didn't get what Jasmine got. And you know why they didn't get what Jasmine got or get what I don't even really like even telling people what happened to me because then you be trying to get you say, oh well, if he got that, I'll probably get something between what him and Jasmine got. The advantages I have is because working with Jerry, I get to ask him mad questions on site while people are going through these things. So now I've been through 93 ceremonies, right? And the difference between people resisting and what their things are is their spiritual maturity. Did
Mm-hmm.
we do a whole class on spiritual maturity before? Yes. So, um, what work are you doing before you have this experience? Like from transformation to transformation, there's got to be some kind of transitional work in there. So no meditating, no altar, and then want to jump to the Toad and get what Jasmine got. And I just started, practicing magic, recently, 1 year ago or 2 years ago. Jasmine got 20 plus years in the game of ups and downs. All her stuff ain't been ups. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't have what somebody else got. That's gonna be your disappointment. And then you sit there and then you say, well, the medicine didn't work for me. My nigga, what? What do you mean? You ain't there. You
Mhm.
don't get, you got the same dose, but you got exactly what you were supposed to get. So what level are you on is the real question in your practice. So you can be at 0, but are you willing to die to get to 1? You can be at
Mhm.
47. Are you willing to die to get to 48? You could be at high level. Are you willing to die to get to higher level? Because you got to give up something. What they say, you got to put some skin in the game. Jasmine be talking about y'all messing with broke niggas. It's the same scenario in your spiritual walk. Is
Mhm.
what skin are you putting in the game? So for those who came to experience the toad and say, I'm gonna try that again, or I don't know if I got the full experience or whatever, what you realize is now you got an opportunity to make some advancement in your regular walk because the toad is trying to help you remember the divine. So then that's gonna help you motivate and pull yourself up out the ashes. It's not nothing, there's not no Jesus coming to pull you out the ashes. Because when the ceremony is over, guess what? You don't see Jasmine in the state she was in, like when she was on the medicine. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's over. Now, what can you remember and be aware of and apply in your life? So that's what I'm talking about with Jasmine. She's giving her testimony of what it did for her, but she cannot promise you. She
Mhm.
knows she can't promise you it's going to do the same thing for you. Jasmine, can you speak on that about people setting themselves up for
Mhm.
disappointment because they want the candle to do exactly what it did for you?
Absolutely. Well, like I said in the video, everyone's experience is not going to be the same. And there were things that the toad showed me that I chose not to share because they were personal about myself, which I mentioned there was some shit in there that I didn't even realize was still in there that was put dead in front of my face. So, and
Really?
and also
No,
I
no, not Mr. Got the Crossroads. No, not you. No.
Yes, yes, me. And I've been, as we all are, a work in progress. I'm not perfect either, and I've been working on myself for a very long time as well. So, yes, it does have to do with where you are. And see, the thing is, people were disappointed because they were forced to look in a mirror, and it was shocking to see who you really have been. And now you know why you haven't manifested where you want to be. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you're being. And if you didn't like what the toad showed you, then there are some changes that need to be made, or you're going to remain in the position that you're in.
I said today, this is my last note, right? Because I got to get off of here. Jasmine may go ahead and do another live for y'all, but I told somebody today the biggest, deepest, most sincere apology that you'll make to yourself is on this ceremony. A lot of y'all be
Mm,
saying, "Oh, I'm sorry." You be telling other people you sorry, but I've seen people use the word "I apologize" as a manipulating tool because they want to make people drop their guards so then they can manipulate them because they'd be like, well, Vaughn said he was sorry, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Vaughn in. So but then Vaughn come in and start manipulating because he keeps doing the same thing, but then he keeps saying he's sorry. But the way that you feel some things, oh my goodness, like he getting ready to come back. He gonna be back in Los Angeles in November. I think Jasmine may go in again. I highly recommend that she go in at least for the second time. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh, for sure.
um, yeah, and because there's times when you're just too in your head that first time. You know what I'm saying? And it's not cheap. So some people get afraid of how much it costs. Am I gonna do it right? I'm sitting there giving you instructions the whole time as far as intake. Once you get the medicine inside your body, you don't have to worry about nothing. The medicine gonna take care of the rest. But you got so many comparisons going on that when you come in, you really not you really can't clear your mind fast enough. You shouldn't have had the junk in there in the first place. Then you wouldn't have to clear it out. That's how I feel. If you know why I don't have no bad dreams? Because I don't watch scary movies. What I need to watch a scary movie for? The
Hmm.
hell? What I'm gonna get out of that? You know what I mean? I mean, unless somebody tell me it's got like some Freemasonic or it's got some enlightening things in there and they're hiding it up on their scary movie, then I may go look at it. But like just to be watching horror movies all the time, people just with a whole bunch of blood. I don't even like now when Keisha got shot on Power. I ain't even like her getting shot in the head. I didn't like that. That was on, regular TV. So, um, yes, Miss Jenkins said she wanted to stay in control. Oh, disappointment and embarrassment, Jasmine. That was the other lesson. A lot of people are afraid they can't rise out of the ashes because if they start all the way over with death, then they'll be embarrassed because of how they've manipulated someone to look at them as a certain way. What you got to say about that,
Mhm.
Jasmine?
Well, I mean, if we kind of reference that in with the toad, that'll take all of that away from you. But you have to get to a place where you no longer care about what someone else thinks of you. Okay, you've operated a certain way. Now it's time to change that. Now, those same people that you may have manipulated, maybe time to let them go. And that's the other thing. People hold on to relationships, friends, families, jobs, kids. Don't get me started on the people you're sleeping with that you don't have any business being with. And listen, I'm speaking from my own personal experience as well. Sometimes relationships run their course, they are for lesson purposes, and you have to know when to move forward and not cry over it and not feel bad because you're holding yourself back from who or what or where you're actually supposed to be.
Right. Talissa said she asked me, she was in her ceremony and she was like, "Kyrie, hold my hand." I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no. This your journey. You know what I'm saying? You're not coming to get grounded. This my other rant for today. I'm so sick and tired of all of y'all wanting to get grounded. The F is wrong with you. You better
Right.
go get you better go get high instead of grounded, but not high on weed where you all out of your mind. You need to go get high on some medicine so you can get up like
Mm-hmm.
you grounded into this illusion. That's a whole nother that's my next video right there when I talk about the
And
three.
you know what? Holding somebody's hand during the ceremony is per, pointless anyway. They're gone. They're not even coherent. I didn't even know. I was so far gone, Kyer. You could have been right up here in my face talking to me, and it would have been like nothing because I wasn't even there. At that point, I didn't even care no more. I'm like, shit, I'm out the body. Woohoo! Damn near didn't want to come back. It's like, well, gone now.
The lady who went last, who drove all the way up from Florida, she didn't even go in until like 12:30, 1 o'clock. And she just got a message out. Like she was going through what she was going through, and then she was like, I don't even want to come back. And then she went right back into the zone she was in. And Jerry said, Jerry looked at her and said, that is an entheogenic experience because entheogens take you to God. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to tell you what she did, but their body, the things that she did with her body let you know that she was experiencing that. Now, everybody doesn't have something to do with their body that lets you know that you experienced that. But um that was the way that she showed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the reason I'm afraid to tell it because somebody will be like, "Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do." Did I do what she did? Which is still another thing too. I'm so happy about all the people in Atlanta who did it, and then asked me afterwards, "Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I scream too loud? Did I?" Nobody cares. What do you remember
Right.
that you were doing? Nobody cares. Did I move? Did I kick? Did I scream? Nobody cares. You still got an
Mm-hmm.
agenda. So yeah, that was man, it was I wish I don't know. I wish everybody could sit in on about 5 ceremonies and sit there and
Mm-hmm.
look and say, oh, but of course, we ain't letting you sit in on those. First off, somebody probably is not gonna let you, a stranger, sit in on this ceremony. And then how many assistants? Jerry don't need nothing, but like you'd have to take my place, which I ain't got no problem with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I don't know, Jasmine. If he got 2 days in LA, oh, he gonna be on Venice Beach.
Mm-hmm.
He got an Airbnb on Venice Beach. Close your mouth. You got flies. You got flies. You got these gnats.
Okay.
These gnats. You got
Okay.
these gnats. Yeah, so he got a private house this time in Venice Beach. So he's not going back to Tyson Ranch. He got his own spot. So it's gonna
Okay.
be it's gonna be some fire. So I might have to let you get one of my days and let you go in there and see, because watching other people and assisting other people in their ceremony,
Are
humbling,
you coming back out
humbling.
here? Are you going to be here?
Is Grits Groceries Venice Beach? Venice Beach?
I'm excited.
Venice Beach? What you mean? Like he gonna be in Fort Lauderdale on the 8th, so I might go down there too.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it just well, I want to go back to the beach, so I'm gonna see what my schedule look like, and of course let's see what my money look like. So yes,
Okay.
but Thursday, can somebody type selfdiscoveryclass.info? We're going to be really answering your questions about how you get over disappointments. And you probably will be getting more candle magic and rituals on a personal basis. Jasmine, if you got one at the end for everybody, that's cool. But we want to hear your own situation. Because I'm sure once the share starts, more people are going to be sharing. So all of y'all that came out last week for the money, don't tell me that you ain't never had no disappointments. So we should see twice as many people coming out for this one. Sexual disappointments too. I ain't even gonna talk about Jerry did a lecture on Thursday. I mean, on Friday night, and the toad also helps with sexual repression. I'm gonna save that for another video tomorrow about sexual repression. That's how I know a lot of you ladies out here lying. You know what I'm saying? Because that toad, you can't lie. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
can like see some of the, like it's just coming out. But it needs to happen in order for your when I say a phoenix coming out of the ashes, when you rising up out of the ashes, like that's an all-powerful being that you are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I gotta go find Saint. I mean, my man Seven. I think he doing. So I gotta go out. The spot that we had, everything. I gotta give a big shout out to Journey and Seven once again. And you can ask anybody who was there, like about the property. Antoinette, you got there too late, so you couldn't see the property in the daytime. But it was totally awesome, man. And I look forward to Venice Beach. If anybody's in Florida, I'll probably be down there too. So, yeah. It's amazing. Jasmine, you got some closing words for him?
Yes, see everybody in class on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
All facts. The flyer's already done. Gabrielle just made it. So y'all will probably see that popping up. And yeah, Jasmine, I'm sure she has some. You should just do a video live, Jasmine, on limiting character. Y'all don't know why you ain't done that. Like all your video, you don't have it because you're always giving out rituals. You're always giving out rituals. Do a damn video about only just the limiting character. That's fuck everything
Okay.
else. Get to
Okay.
end because that's where Joko's disappointments is coming from. Disappointments in your limiting character. That'd be fire right there. That'd be fire.
On it, coach.
Ding, ding, ding. See how
Yes.
she let me put in the game? All right, fam. We found you in peace. We're going to leave you in prayer. Take a nice big inhale. And the core, get you like your minka. Tatia Tezera, Kabel Naram, Chasag Vanu, Tahara Nunara. Na Gibor, the Shea Yegadeka, Kabava Shamran. Barkam Taram, Raka May, Tazika Taker, to meet Gamlan. Kasin Kodosh, Bararu Tufka, Nahel Adateka. The Keep Gahel, and Chapanez, Okrea Katushka Taker. Shavatanu Kabel, Ushma, Tazakatanu, Yodea Talamud. Baruk Shem, Kavu Makuto, Alam Vaed. Peace.